Hey, y'all. Before we dive into today's regular programming, I want to take a few minutes to talk about something that it shook me to the core and a lot of folks in Houston in the women's football world over the past week. See, her name was Alexandria Chris Foley. Alex Foley. She was 31 years old, loved, sister, daughter, friend, teammate, and now she's gone. Struck and killed by a drunk driver in the middle of the night on July 26th. Now, I didn't know Chris personally, but I am in and a part of the community that she came from, the women's pro football world, and I know how women's football holds space for people that don't always fit into the world's boxes. I know what it means to show up and fight for something, as did she, and I know what it means for all of that to be taken from you way too soon, unfortunately, as now does she and her family. Chris was last seen leaving downtown Houston in the early hours of Saturday, July 26, about 3 a.m., when a drunk driver, James Suchi Yin, got behind the wheel. Chris never made it home. The problem is her story isn't unique, and that's the part that's getting me the most. Every day in this country, every 42 minutes, someone is killed from a drunk driver, and yet somehow we still treat this like a mistake instead of a choice. Drunk driving doesn't just wreck cars. It ends lives. It steals futures away. It rips apart families, friend groups, entire communities. And when the victim is someone like a women's pro football player who Chris was, a woman who played the game at the highest level, who was a glue on her team, she had stories that we'll never get to hear. We lose more than the person in these situations. We lose a piece of what makes our world, what makes women's pro sports fuller, grittier, and better. Women like Chris are already under-celebrated, but still they matter, and they always have mattered, and they shouldn't be remembered only when tragedy strikes, and that's the reason for Unbothered. That's the reason we exist, is to give women like Chris their flowers while they're still here to enjoy it, and I'm so sorry that we didn't get that opportunity in this situation, but I want to be clear. Drunk driving is preventable. It's a decision, and every time you take your keys and you get behind that wheel when you're drunk, you are gambling with your life and someone else's. We need better personal and interpersonal accountability. We need more awareness. But beyond that, we need a cultural shift in this country. See, drunk driving is not cool. It's not edgy. And when something happens, it's just not bad luck. It's not an accident. It's chosen violence with time delay. And if you've ever lost somebody to a drunk driver or at the hands of another person, then you know what I'm talking about, and I see you. And if you haven't, don't wait until you do to care. Talk to your friends. Make a plan. Be the one who takes the keys, the one who orders the Uber. Be the reason somebody else lives to tell their story. Because stories like Chris Foley should still be unfolding, not ending in obituaries. Let's do better.
I'm in East LA, man. It's like helicopters, ice out here, everything.
It's such a bad political environment. It's actually really sad, man.
It's
Them
so
folks
weird.
they just trying to better themselves. Ain't no need in this, you know? It's actually
Nah,
really, really, really evil. It's crazy. Well, how are you doing? You enjoying LA?
I am. I'm enjoying LA. I'd say Adidas is treating me pretty well. I'm having fun with it. So
You
yeah,
doing shoes? What you doing?
graphic tees
Oh, that's
actually, and
dope.
like patterns for like shorts and stuff. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
been Candace Parker, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Anthony Edwards,
yeah.
women's and men's All-Star Weekend and NCAA. So actually, I just did in Miami graphic too. So that'll be
That's
fun.
dope. Do you get to go this weekend?
No. I'm hoping to go to the women's next year when they do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of new to it, so the
Yeah.
seniors got to go.
Man, I'm gonna call up Candace and be like, hey, lady, now I want to
Yeah,
be in
because I
Indiana
did the
too.
shirt.
Right? It's
Yeah,
my shirt, gosh dang it. That's cool. So what does the shirt look like? Can you tell? Or I gotta wait till Saturday?
I'll give you a little bit of it. It's so she's the president of Adidas basketball. So
Yeah.
since she's retired from the WNBA, like we wanted to
Yeah.
to like give her a presidential feel. So just think presidential
Mm.
and like what that like look like. Money.
Okay. All right. She'll be walking around with dollar signs looking like, huh? Okay.
Dollar bills,
I'm
y'all.
with it. 3, 2, 1.
More than the mood, it's the weight and the will. Built for the climb, the story's the grind. This ain't just a pot, it's a whole state of mind. Limitless life. You could keep moving or stand still in fright. I came from nothing to this overnight. I'ma keep killing these stories despite all of the progress we make every day that we see. Man, these women are doing this right. Owning their lives in the day, working hard in the dark. Then they balling their ass off at night. Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode 4 of Unbothered. I'm here with a very special guest, a friend of mine, Kesz Wesley, the leading running back from the San Diego Rebellion, 2025's WNFC Women's Pro Football Offensive Player of the Year as a running back. Led the league in rushing for a little while, 482 yards, 58 carries, 8.3 yards per carry. And the craziest part is she split the backfield with a teammate who had very similar stats. It's like they're like 30 yards off from each other. Wild. Kesz has a crazy story, man, and I'm sure we're going to get into it. I'm excited to have you here. So welcome, Kesz Wesley, to Unbothered, the podcast. I told you a long time ago, actually probably a month or so ago, that you're my favorite all-pro story of all time. Because because I know, like, I'm serious, man. Like, you know, as a former teammate, you know, I know how this all went down for you. And to see you get to the place that you're in San Diego and then stand up on the stage at the championship breakfast as all the work and all the heartache and all the, you know, everything just kind of paid off. And it's a beautiful story that I think needs to be told. So we're going to fucking tell it today. How about that?
Oh boy, it's a lot. So I hope it's already. It's a lot.
We got all the time in the world to tell this story, but tell the folks, like, let's start off with most women that play football come from a different background, and we don't typically find this sport, at least women in our age group, right? The younger ones are having a much easier, nicer time with the whole flag in school as they're coming up, right? But for us, that wasn't an option, right? We end up finding this after we leave something else that just we can't do anymore for whatever reason. How did you find football? How did you get into it?
Oh man, so I've been an athlete my whole life, which I feel like most of us have. So started out playing basketball, soccer, did track and field as a walk-on for University of Arkansas for 1 year, and then went to the military for 6 years. Craziest thing I did for a paycheck. But after 6 years of that, went back to Texas. You know, that's where I was born. Was raised for a little bit, and then I had a friend hit me up who was like, you thought about doing football or, you know, playing another sport? I was like, yeah, I would love to do football. I ain't never done it because that was never talked about for me. I think I asked my mom.
What do you mean you had a friend just ask you randomly? Like, were they watching football or something?
No, she was actually playing in the WFA for Mile High Blaze. Yeah. And
Mile High Blaze. I thought you said My Blaze, and I was like, is this Spanish? Like, what?
Look, I've been in LA for 2 years. Ain't learned not that much. I know how to order food though.
Hey, right?
That's important.
Dos tacos, por favor.
Mm-hmm.
Gracias.
Yeah. You know, pollo, asada. I forgot what fish. No,
Barilla.
Pesca something. Anyway, I'll just point.
Fish.
They know. But yeah, I had a friend. She's also Marine. So she was with Mile Blaze. She was like, just, you know, find somebody in your area. Like, and she actually told me there's the Dallas Mustangs. And so I initially started with the Women's Football Association, WFA, which is where I met my first coach, Lacey Downs, who actually pretty much changed the tide for me because I wasn't even going to be a running back at first. I was going to be receiver or safety. I can't really catch like that, so it turns out just hand it to me. That'd be easier.
Turns out he was right.
Man, hey, it worked out.
I mean, you had 2 catches. You had 2 catches for 10 yards. You can catch a little bit. You can do a little bit.
Toss.
Yeah.
Shovel.
Little flip. Little.
Don't put me down in the field though. I'll make my way there myself.
Right.
But yeah. So she's like, yeah, ever thought about being a running back? I was like, no, but I'll do it. And yeah, from there, did that 1 year with WFA. And then I think, you know, COVID happened. So took a break for like another year. And then, yeah, OJ hit me up, man. And dang, yeah, got into it. Delete. And on my birthday, that's when she called me. Tell me I made the team.
Really?
That first year.
Did she call you and be like, "Hey, happy birthday, by the way, I need you here at this time for workouts"?
She didn't even know it was my birthday. I was like, oh my God, this is the best birthday present. She was like, this is your birthday? I was like, yeah. She was like, well, I hope you're ready for it. And man, that was one heck of a
What
birthday
year was that?
present.
I can't even remember. What year was that?
2021? Yeah.
2021. Okay. I gotcha. Yeah. That do you remember your training camp tryout?
Let me tell you, I specifically remember the first time I lined up in front of Jelly. And this wasn't even tryouts. This was just a practice I showed up to, I think. I thought it was just like, we're going to do like easy ups or something. I remember they said they snapped the ball, and I was about to take that one step. Jelly just went like, bam. And I was on my ass. And like the next second, I was like, how did I get here? Jelly, she's shorter than me. I wasn't like, not that I was even thinking I was going to do something crazy. I'm just like, I'm going to do something. I'll try to do something. I did nothing. But
Man,
you had to get up multiple times.
Jelly is she's like 4'0", very unassuming, but she's a women's Pro Football Hall of Famer and a linebacker. And so like if you line up on her, she's ultra aggressive and really, really head smart and really, really strong. But if you look at her just out in the street, you'd be like, oh, hey, little lady. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's like a big smile.
She's so unassuming.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fooled me.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a really rough welcoming, but like it was a welcome.
Yeah.
Like welcome to the W.
I know, right? I was talking to Sarah Twebner, the MVP, the other day, and and that's what she said about coming over to WNFC, right? Is that once you move from the WFA to WNFC, the stats are lower, but the game is faster and more physical. And she was very taken aback by the physicality of the game when she got over there. And I was like, yeah. I mean, we all kind of had that. We all kind of had that experience. I didn't tell her this, but I tell you, I remember my first training camp, and I was playing tight end off of Guidry, right? And I remember one possession I had Guidry here, and I think it might have been Fancy or somebody right here, and I had them both blocked. And I don't remember who was in the Gore was in the backfield, came out of the backfield, and scored on that possession. Well, I pissed Guidry off, right? The very next play. The very next play, bro, she clamped my ass up and then threw me on the ground, and my legs landed like outwards. I tore my whole labrum on my right groin.
Family Guy characters.
Like the whole right. I did like when Joe falls out of the wheelchair. That's
just all things.
That's how it looked, man.
I'm different though. Yeah, I see that.
All right, so tell me about them 6 years in the military, man. Like, did you do any tours?
I didn't do any tours. I was an engineer. I started off as like a water support technician, which was like a glorified plumber. But I did that for a little bit, and I was stationed in Japan for a couple of years. So I got to travel quite a bit, doing like just like humanitarian missions mostly. But then I really got into it once I started being a weapons instructor. So I left Okinawa, went to Virginia for 6 months, did some training there. And then they were like, we looked at your scores on this rifle thing. Pretty good. Think about teaching. I was like, I don't even know how to teach. I just do it. I don't even think I was listening when they taught me. Because I had never shot weapons before I joined the military. I was like, this just seems simple enough. It worked out. But yeah, then once I got to California, that's when I was like I felt like I was really being a Marine that time. I had a weapon in my hand just about every day. So that was like, I'd say the most fun I had. And teaching was actually really fun for me. So I think that
What'd you get to teach a lot?
Rifle and pistol, mainly just for like the recruits. Whenever they come through San Diego, they go through the whole boot camp training. So when they get to us like the midway through, they do their whole week of qualifications with me. I have them on the firing line, the 100, 200, 300, and 500-yard line. And we shoot in like the sitting, standing, or prone position. They get graded like if they're a marksman, sharpshooter, or expert rifleman. So it's like all the guys are like really big about it. They're like,
so if you're not an expert, like there's no category for you except like out. That's how it is.
You're a sharpshooter or you're a marksman. And a marksman, it's like a target. It's like a pizza box is what they call it. Your pizza box, which means you can't shoot shit. And like you're just you're probably a cook. You maybe just, you're in the band. That's okay. You're not here to You're not here to
That
do
makes
much. You're just
sense.
here to do your qualifications and
Yeah,
go
this
back
is
to
for
work.
like if crap hits the fan and you have to defend yourself type of thing.
Yeah,
Okay, I
everybody is
got
a
you.
rifleman, so the Marines say. Everybody can hold one. I can
Yeah.
say that. I don't know if they can shoot it. I'm not gonna say that though. I've
So
seen
what kind
some.
of rifles they have in there?
It's M16 and M4 for the
Okay,
shorties.
real damage. Gotcha. For the shorties. What kind of
Yeah,
pistol is it? Is it a 40 cal or
it's
9
it's a
millimeter?
little 9 millimeter. That's it. A
9.
little
Okay,
Beretta.
I got you. That's actually pretty cool, man. I always wondered like how you would even get to be a firearms instructor like that. But I always found it so cool that people get to make a living off of doing that. It's like one of my favorite things to do. You just go to the gun range and just like blow out some steel, It's just like one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, we got to do like
That's
competition too. So I'm trying to go maybe
snap.
do the
What you
Olympics
mean
because
competition?
yeah, I was on the Marine rifle team for a little bit, and I got a few awards with that as like one of the top female shooters. So that's been really fun. And they send me emails like almost every year. Like, you gonna come do it as a civilian, and then like from there, I actually found out the Olympic training facility is actually like 2 miles from me right now here in LA. So I'm like,
Oh
2028, I
snap!
already live here. Might see about being an Olympian.
What time? What's the year? It's 2025. Hey,
got
you better
you
go
got
in there right
time.
now. You
Yeah.
better go in there right now. I don't know how much time you got, but it ain't much. I'm sure they already
All right.
training and picking teams.
And look, Army got third
Look.
place last time, so they need somebody.
They got third place of all the branches of the military. You would think
It was
that
the
they would be
Army.
first.
We can't expect a lot. No offense, to my Army friend. Well, y'all, I love y'all. I'm gonna talk every time because it's Army.
Look, I ain't never been in there, so this ain't my fight. I ain't gonna be like RG3 getting in a fight with Reese and Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna stay out of it.
Right,
That ain't
'cause I
my
don't know,
fight.
might
I'm
be a
just
Shaquille
saying.
O'Neal somewhere and lurking might come get you. But I don't know. It won't be me though.
Right? Somebody want to punch me in the face, and I ain't got nothing to do with it. He brought that on himself, though. You been watching all that?
I have,
Bro.
When Shaq took off let me tell you something real quick. I was like,
Right?
Pops,
Right? I was like, wait, he
I
done
want
took
no
off the sunglasses.
Oh Lord.
I was like, he done took off the sunglasses. He said, hey, you stay off my girl, Angel Reese, I'm gonna punch you in the face. I was like,
That's like his child, basically. Might as well be his stepdaughter.
that's wild. All right, so did we do that? We didn't do it. So what does being unbothered mean to you?
Man, being unbothered means I ain't really worried about them stats. I'm not really worried about anybody's opinion on my game either. I feel like there's a lot of people that like to, they have their talks about like, how people play or like how they expect things but they don't really know me. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you what to expect, to be honest, but I'm just going to do what I do. Usually when I get on the field, my first thing is like, I ain't got nothing to do but run this ball. So everything else, I'm not bothered,
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So you don't be looking through the comments and seeing all the criticism. You don't be giving a shit about that, huh?
No, I don't even bother opening it up. That's the point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing you could do, right?
Yeah.
That's the best thing you do.
Only critic I need to hear is my coach.
We'll say that again.
Only critic I need to hear is my coach, my teammates.
Yeah. You're right. I'm with you, man. So you came out the military, you played for the Dallas Mustangs, and then O called you. How did you fall in? When did you know you were in love with football?
I would say it's actually the first play for our first game with the WFA. My first play actually was a touchdown. I think it was 67 yards, something like that. Yeah,
You just came out the gate swinging.
I was in panic mode, It's usually how I run. I didn't get a lot of there wasn't as much in depth with it as far as this is your gap, read this is where the O-line going now. You gotta watch the safety coming down. My whole thing was just run, so I did, and yeah. But I think I was like that was fun, and then I think I got hit a couple times. I was like, all right, I can get up after this, so it's not too bad. So it's still fun. But I don't know. You got to be a little bit of a masochist to be a running back, to be honest. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Like a glutton for punishment, bro.
I don't know what that's about.
For sure. You sure? Because you're a running back.
I talked to my therapist about it, but yeah.
The therapist was like, "Are you okay? Do you need help? If you need help,
another
wait
season.
twice." Right.
I didn't
Yeah, I
understand.
remember my in the very beginning of my football career, most of my touchdowns came from panic too. Because I was like, it wasn't that I was panicking that I was in the game. It was that I talk a lot of shit when I'm on the field, and so by that time I had already said so many things that
You
I
riled
just knew
everybody
if
up.
anybody caught me, they were gonna lay me out. And so
Dang. So
and
I'm
so I'm
really
like,
running from my mistakes.
yeah, I'm running from my mistakes and for my life at this
Yeah.
point. So,
A courage the cowardly
but
dog mode, screaming and running.
man, but I was about 40 pounds lighter than I am now, and just fresh out of college basketball. So I was fast and very in shape. So nobody was catching me. But at the same time, I was, man, them touchdowns did not come from skill. They came from, I don't want to die. I
I don't
like
want to die.
talking shit, but I don't want to die. Faux show. So early on with your role in Texas Elite, so it kind of bounced all over the place, right? It was lead back, then it was backup back, then it was mid back, then it was spell back, then it was lead back. You were all over the place, right? So talk us through your role with Texas Elite, how it changed, what you learned during that, what you took with you when you left.
All right. So I know when I leaving the WFA, I was already told like a lot of things about the WNFC, about like owners and like how teams are and things like that. And I don't really take a lot of that to heart because I feel like I need to let that get my own experience. Um, but obviously it was a rough awakening and like a rough welcoming. But it was definitely a learning experience. There's definitely room to learn from so many people around me. Like that was from offense, defense, and every single coach that came in contact with me. Um, I wouldn't say honestly that I was ever a lead running back. Um, I would say I was maybe the lead practice back. To be honest, and uh,
Hey man, that's a tough spot to be.
it's a tough spot to be in. Honestly, trying to constantly figure out where I need to work on, where I need to better myself. I remember having a conversation with Coach O about like, what is that you need from me? This was like after playing against Mississippi. I didn't get to play at all against them. But this is probably a little later on, like third year though. But having a conversation and it was like, what do you need? And she was like, I need faster backs. I was like, okay, I'll be faster then. Like I'll go start like doing more sprints. And she was like, no, no, no. You just keep playing your game. But like at this moment, I need it faster. I was like, okay. So then at that point, it was just like, well, I don't even know what my game really is. And it was like, okay, am I fast? Am I slow? Like, okay, I'm faster than the line, which is important. So that's good. And
that's a
that's
good
good.
first step.
That's right.
Outrun the big folks.
We're on
Out
the
the
right.
300 pounders, you got to move faster than them. That's the first
Mhm.
step of being a running back.
Exactly. So, okay. So far, so good. But then I think it was just throughout those years, it was really just learning like what is my play style, where are my strengths, where are my weaknesses, and like how can I use those to my advantage. Even the weaknesses, I feel like I could use to my advantage. Even that panic, the anxiety, like yeah, I can run with it instead of trying to run from it. But I'd say that like my role was really just to learn, wholeheartedly, was to yeah, learn everything I could and soak it all in. And it was frustrating, I would say. Like it took an emotional toll on me. Not thinking that I was good enough. There was a bit of imposter syndrome, like trying to prove myself. And like I was already being told by teammates, coaches that like, no, we believe in you. We know you could do it. And I'm like, okay, let me go out there and do it then? They're like, not yet. I'm like, okay, when? But and that time did come. Though that playoff season, that first season playoffs, that time did come, and I think that was really an eye opening moment for me. Of like, keep working, keep grinding, no matter how many times you step on the field, how many chances you get. Every chance you do get, make sure that you try to make it your best one. So yeah, when your name is called, make sure that you answer the phone. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was behind an injury, wasn't it, to somebody, and
Yeah.
then actually
It's
to multiple
behind
people.
actually everybody. All the running backs got
Yeah,
injured.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, Kez had like 100 and something yards. Now it was a cool moment to witness, man, because it was like I was in practice with you, man. Like I was witnessing you hang your head when stuff didn't go quite right. I was witnessing you second guessing yourself on the sideline when Sat and T Hill would show up to practice, and then all of a sudden it was you standing back there in the back watching, right? When all the other 6 practices in a row, you were in there as the lead back, right? And now you got to sit there and wait, and you already know that they're going to be. I was witnessing all of this. And so when we got to the playoffs, and everybody got hurt, and I was like, okay, Kez, this is Kez moment. She about to go off. There's no way she doesn't, she about to go off. And so when you did and you broke out like that, bro, my heart was doing like this. I'm over here like, oh my God. I'm internally screaming, but I'm trying to keep it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like one of those things. It was like surreal. It's like if you could write like a Disney movie about a football player that has that go on, and you got to give it a little extra drama, like a side love story, and like maybe something that makes somebody cry. You know what I'm saying? You got to give it a little extra, little nitpicky details, right?
Yeah.
Little, but if you could write a Disney movie, and that would be the ending. So yeah, so during that time when all that was going on, right? The lead practice back, sitting when the starters come. You took 95% of the reps in practice, and then got to the game and took 2% of the reps, right? Like, how did you make sure that you stayed ready to even rise to that occasion? Going through the mental turmoil of, man, shit, I practiced well and I'm still not there. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you remain ready in those situations mentally?
And mentally, I feel like honestly I wasn't ready, and I think I psyched myself out thinking I wasn't ready, but I know I was, just obviously given the performance. But at the same time, I felt like I wasn't, mainly because though I got those reps in practice, I felt like practicing against Texas Elite is one thing, playing against them is another. So like obviously there's not as many breaks in practice, so it was really like conditioning. Mentally, also physically for my body too. But at the same time, practice conditioning and game conditioning are two completely different things. But I think when it comes to practice against Texas and then playing a game against somebody else, you probably are where you need to be. I'd say.
Yeah.
But I'd also say that like watching even from the sideline, like watching Sat and watching T Hill, watching where their eyes go. Like I've noticed something about whenever I see pictures of myself when I'm like running, my eyes are like bug-eyed, like trying to see everything, like poking out of my skull. And then like when I look at pictures of Sat and T Hill, Sat looks so relaxed, like, man, I'm just going to the right. Me, I'm like, I gotta go to the right. But like also just watching their demeanor, like watching like, I don't know, just the way they carry themselves in the midst of running, in the midst of like seeing their blocks come through, or like seeing like how the play develops, and like watching them slow down, pick up speed, things like that. And like also staying low. Like these are things I always watch, and like things I'm being told. But it's like, it's one thing to like, I'm trying to make sure I do it, but then like, what does it look like? So I got to see it. I got to probably write it down, and then I got to do it myself. I got to do all the things.
All right.
Yeah. That's Zoom.
All right. So you said you weren't ready. You didn't feel like you were ready, right? When you got in there and you figured out that you were afterwards, right? So what went on after the game? We're still talking about that playoff game, right? So after the game, what was your first thoughts running through your head when we got back to the locker room?
I did it. Like that was it. Like, dang.
Look, Mama, I made it.
I did. Like, honestly, there was a panic of like, okay, they all got injured. Let me make sure I don't get injured. Okay. Also I don't want the defense to come and try to play the position for me either. Like that was a big thing. Like, I love seeing Jay Mitch run the ball, because that's fun to see away from that when you're like in front of her, obviously, because that's terrifying. But also just the whole thing is just mentally, I don't know. I think I was just excited to be there for one, because I never really danced in the end zone. But I think that I was like ready for the championship game. I was ready to, all right, let me do it again and see if I can do it another time. I think now that the jitters wore off, I was able to play a whole game. Like, let me do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
That changed once we got to the championship. And guess who we played? Oh, man.
Was that San Diego?
San Diego.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That was San Diego.
Man,
yep.
I think about that a lot. That's insane.
Yeah?
Yeah. I remember...
When you say you think about it, what do you be thinking?
Oh, my gosh. I remember I was just pacing back and forth, trying to follow OJ, trying to make sure I was right there on the hip, make sure, Chris, where you at? Like, hey, did you tell her I'm still here, by the way? Because, I don't know if she remembers, like, 2 weeks ago, I was also here. Hey, can you just tell her again? Like, me just, like, 2 plays, if that's okay? But yeah,
Yeah.
fourth
Yeah.
quarter, I remember she just turned around. She was like, dang, come on. And I was like, yeah. And we were backed up in our end zone, and we had the whole field to go. And I was like, okay, this won't be too bad. I got the O-line in front of me. I felt protected. I was fine,
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I think there was a bit of miscommunication in the backfield. We had a lead play. I remember my lead block went to the left. Bushman turned to the right, and I went this way to go get it. I was trying to go back to find my lead block, but I've had 2 Rebellion players in front of me. Funny enough, that would be Fat
Dang.
Girl and Havoc. Those were the 2 that were in front of me. And yeah,
Dang.
I think one hit this side and the other caught this side, and this shoulder dislocated right there. I fumbled it. They scored. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah,
So
I
you went
remember.
from like the top of the mountain to, I mean, we still won the championship, but you went from the top of the mountain to taking one hand off, dislocating your shoulder, fumbling the ball, and they score.
Yeah. It was like,
Bro,
dang. Okay, maybe
I'm on an emotional roller coaster.
no damage. I remember Black saying, like, you should stay on the sideline with me. We was fine. Beast Mode
Right.
came to the game, too. And I was like, I'm wearing
Yeah.
your jersey number 2. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. That's rough, man. All right. So then I think after that you picked up and moved, yeah?
Yeah, so yeah, we had 2 more seasons with Texas, and then we moved because Adidas was like, yeah, we can give you a dream job. We can bring you over to Cali.
Did you plan to play football when you got out there, or were you just going to give it up?
Well, my plan was to play. I actually had a conversation with before the season had even ended, that last third season with Texas, and she was like, I really want you to keep playing. Like, you still got it in you, and like she said that anybody that leaves Texas can be a star anywhere they go, and I still totally believe that, and it speaks
I mean,
for
you're living
itself.
proof, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're living
I
proof.
guess.
I mean, Lee's Offensive Player of the Year. What people don't understand about Texas is a collective group of people that have come together and decided, I don't care if I rush for 600 yards. I don't care. What I care about, if I rush for 100 yards in this season and at the end of the year we all have rings on our finger, I'm good with that. Yep. So, man, it's a different kind of mindset that I don't think that that most people understand about champions, right? Because, people look at Tom Brady and be like, oh, he was great. But the whole thing was Tom Brady was like, give me 16 million good receivers and one heck of a running back. And if we have to win the Super Bowl against Detroit 13-0 by running the ball and me not playing well, we won, goddamn. You know what I'm saying? Like, he didn't care.
Yeah.
Right. He didn't give a dang. And that's a champion's mindset that I think that I'm glad that you carried out to San Diego. And I think that a lot can be learned from a lot of other people playing sports and playing the game, and even in our league in the WNFC about like the base level of how to build a champion's mind.
Yeah, I think San Diego is right. They're right there. We're man. These past 2 years, I'd say there's been nothing but like consistency and going up. There's up in as far as leadership, as far as like trusting each other, communication. I would say Ninji and KO have been so openly communicative about just about everything, as far as like what's needed on and off the field. I think my favorite thing running with Lena and Regina would be like we could just go back and forth. I'd love that so much. One series me, the next series you. And one thing that me and Reggie were saying, like we were just like, your turn, my turn, your turn. Oh, you scored, my turn.
Yeah.
I scored, your turn.
Yeah.
And we're so quick to be like, who's starting? We don't really care. Who you want out there right now, coach? Like, you want both of us at the same time? That's cool. Like,
hey, two backs. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The split formation. It's to me, the split formation needs to be used more in football, man. I mean, I know it's an old deal, but can you imagine? Just imagine this, okay? Having like you, and let's put Destiny Yarbrough over here in split formation behind the quarterback, right? Like, as a backer, how do you choose who's the lead back?
Right. Don't forget the slot coming across. That's another running
Exactly.
back. Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
The slot is another running back and split, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who's the lead back? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
if Destiny gets it, right, and she's running off your side, or you're already off balance because the split side was over here. You know what I'm saying?
Good luck.
I mean, over
stopping
here.
that too. So like, that's one thing. And
Right,
and if she doesn't
man.
have the ball in her hands, like I'm still worried for you. Still
Right,
worried.
man. It would. I think if you want to spread out defenses with two dynamic backs, it could be two fast ones or one big one fast one. It doesn't matter. But in our league, the easiest thing to do is to spread the box. And if you run it out of a split, you already draw the eyes of both outside linebackers. The box is spread.
Yes.
You
Oh my
know,
gosh. And it's beautiful because I tell you what, this last season was rough as far as running. It was a fun time. I'll tell you, it was so fun running. But the defense in front of me, just about every team did this. They was like, she coming this way because they know we running. All right. When Danny went down, they were like, they just a run team now. That's what they gonna do. They gonna run. So
you
like,
ran
if I
the heck
line up
out of
on
the
this
ball.
side, they were like, she coming over here. I'm like, maybe I might come there.
Yeah, y'all. I think y'all averaged. Let me see. Y'all had 1,345 yards rushing for 224 yards a game, and then passing. Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. Passing collectively, y'all had 195 yards.
Jesus. This is my
It doesn't
first
even
time
give me
hearing these
yards per
numbers.
game.
That's
It doesn't give
insane.
me a yard per game. Just 195 yards total. 3
These are
touchdowns and 5 picks.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when she went down, everybody was like, "This is a rushing team." Hell yeah, y'all were.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Y'all were good for 2 completions a game at that point, man. Like there was,
Man, let them have been toss plays. We probably still would have been no interceptions on that. But we did good. And
right.
shout out to Alia for honestly stepping in for that because that was rough as far as coming up behind Danny and like she didn't really get a lot of reps prior to the season at quarterback. But she stepped in there and she stepped in there, I'd say, with whole confidence. She always had a smile on her face, and even coaches be yelling at her, and I'm like, "You good?" Because I know this is rough, and like honestly,
you're
I'm
like,
tired too.
Are they yelling? Are you okay? She's like,
"Oh, everything's great. We're good. You're gonna run this ball." I'm like, okay. It's like if you feel like running, you go for it too. And she sure did run. She got some rushing yards too. So yeah, like QBs was running too, not just the running backs.
Yeah,
and the O line.
I was
man.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed with her when we played y'all up in wherever the hell we were, Oregon. When we played y'all up in Oregon, because she had pressure in her face from the word go. And the entire game, she just kind of, stood in there. I think that was the game that Danny tried to come back, right?
Yeah.
And then was injured, and then she ended up back in there. Yeah. She had pressure in her face from the word go, and she just kind of stood in there. And when y'all needed a play, she made a play. When y'all, you know what I'm saying? Like she handled it with maturity throughout the entire season. As I was watching y'all's film and then watching y'all up in Oregon, and it was, I think when y'all played LA, it was a good game. It was very clear that y'all were going to run away with that game from the very beginning, right? But what I was impressed with from her was, it seemed like she got better as that game went along.
Definitely. Every game she got better.
Usually I don't watch the offense, but I just, you're my buddy, so I was trying to watch the offense in that way. I usually put my head down and be taking my notes about special teams while the offense is playing. But that one I was trying to watch it, and yeah, she handled that role with maturity. It is a very tough position to play. I think people like see the glory, but don't quite understand what goes on behind it and why the glory is earned. Because it's one of those deals like you have to literally know everything for everybody, keep everybody together, and then whatever decision you make on every single play is the reason why you win or lose.
Yeah, and you got to stand behind that 10 toes down every time.
Yeah.
And I can honestly say that I don't recall ever seeing Alia like really ever get upset or like out of her head, I don't think. I mean, maybe I think I probably see it like just a little bit like internally, but she never like outwardly expressed it. And like she'd always just seem so rock solid. And like that is something I truly admire out of her. Like it's something like I would love just most athletes to embody. Like if we could all just take a look at that and try to write that down. Just put that in a notebook. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you moved out to LA to go and work with Adidas and work with the ultra talented, very beautiful Candace Parker.
I've only seen her once. That's it. And like even then, it was kind of far off. Like she kind of said something, and I was like, "Yeah, graphics." I couldn't even say anything. I was so starstruck. I was like, I was actually, as soon as I saw her, I was thinking all the flashbacks from like whenever I played AAU. I had met Pat Summit, and she just shook my hand and was like, I'm just like, man, that was the whole like, there was a full circle moment just coming back and being like, work for Adidas. I played for the Adidas Phenom camp when I was younger too. Yeah, full circle because I love Tennessee and love Pat Summit, love Candace Parker. Obviously a big Sparks fan too. So hello, I'm in LA with the Sparks. I got my Leslie jerseys I've had since I was like 7. Still
Yeah.
haven't got it signed yet, but dang, like now here we are.
Oh, you better get on CP about
Oh,
that.
I'm trying to get the
You better,
ultimate.
hey,
I
send
need
her
CP,
email,
KP.
right? C Candace Parker at Adidas.com. Excuse me. Can you
Please,
please ask Lisa Leslie
both of y'all, please come here.
to sign my jersey?
At this point, y'all can
Man,
sign my football jersey
right?
too. You could do that.
That would be the dopest work day ever. No
Right.
lie.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but you came, okay, so you came there to work for Adidas. You said you knew that you were going to play football, right?
Yeah.
Why did you, so there's a team in LA. Actually, there's multiple teams in LA. Why San Diego?
I knew I wanted to stay with the WNFC, and um, despite any differences that me and Coach O might have had as far as me playing with Texas, I'm gonna take anything that Coach O says. Like, I'm gonna take it wholly and like really soak it in and like listen and understand like what's the reason as to why she would tell me this. And she told me that you should go play for San Diego and don't even think about nobody else. And I was like, why? She's like, they go take care of you. I was like, well, okay, it's what you said. If that's what you said, then that's what you said. And so, and that's what they did. So she was not wrong. And so thankful for that, every day because, yeah, since I went down there, that's first of all, 2 hour drive from LA. Practices at 7 o'clock, which is like the highest traffic time. So it just takes me about
Did you
4
say
hours to get to
Tuesdays on the weekdays when you have to
weekdays.
get back and go to
Mm,
work?
mm, mhm.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So as
Okay.
soon as I'm done with work, I just go straight to practice. So it just takes like 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe to get there, and then another 2 hour practice, and then maybe it's like probably about 45 minutes to get back home after that because traffic is gone. And yeah, it's insane. But I will say that luckily I also have like the community that's up here in Long Beach who in LA area who also decided to play for San Diego and didn't go to any other teams. They taking care of me as well. That's Barbie and Havoc, and they're like another set of adoptive parents I've got. And so
That's
they take
cool.
me to practice so I can just ride with them. And yeah,
Yeah.
they've been taking care of me. So I love it.
That's cool. Okay. So were you the starter off the bat when you got there?
Honestly didn't even expect to be. I wasn't even planning to be. Molina was there, and I honestly was so excited to run behind her, but I didn't go in there thinking that I was going to be a starter. I definitely wanted to just go in and see how they move because I know where I came from and like how we moved to Texas. But I know it's probably going to be something completely different, and I didn't want to go in there thinking like, oh yeah, came from Texas and I got 3 rings. I don't even feel like I really deserve them rings as much as some people might think. Um, but I'm appreciative of them regardless, and like the lessons that it taught me to get there. But yeah, no, not a starter, and I was totally okay with that. I was actually going to be mostly receiver that first season. I was mostly receiver, and I actually had a bit of an
Mm.
injury after I think the second game. I pulled my quad, and like I was just moving hell slow. Could not run for real. But yeah, that was just a season of getting acclimated, getting involved in the team, meeting everybody, learning each other, like and learning what they need from me and like what I could provide. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. So then when did you know, all right, so actually what I'm actually about to do here is go be the offensive player of the year. Like when did that flip? I mean, y'all played, let me see. This year you came in and it was you and Escoto from the beginning, right? So y'all played Utah, y'all beat them 40-6. Y'all played Seattle, beat them 44-3. I mean, y'all were dogging people. Y'all played LA, beat them 20-0. Vegas beat them 20-0. then Oregon 44-0, and damn, y'all gonna let anybody score? Then Denver beat them 33-0.
You're gonna talk to
So
Casey and
at
Ball
what
about
point
that.
in that season, right? At what point in the season were you like, all right, actually no, like I'm him, like I'm Himothy?
Never.
Never. Still. So you run around with this trophy and you still don't think that?
That's a team sport, dog. Like, if I wanted to be him, if I was gonna be her, I'd go play tennis or something. Because that's a singular person.
You got a point. Yeah.
We're them. You know, that's
Right.
us.
Yeah.
No, like,
Got a point.
I never wanted to be that. I never wanted to be an arrogant player. I've always wanted to lead with humbleness and always, learn as much as I can from every situation. You can learn from winning, but you always gonna learn a lot more from losing. I don't think I would ever. I don't think I could ever just say like I'm her. Like that's just so weird to say for me. Like I'm learning.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, and I'm
Yeah.
always
You're
doing
like, that is my pronoun, but
yeah, that's my. You can call me her, but like
she, her, please.
she, her, athlete.
Right.
That's it.
That's cool. I think that's a different kind of style than most superstars actually have, and I'll give you your flowers since you ain't gonna do it. 8.3 yards per carry on 58 carries is not an accident, bro. Like, and yes, it is a team game, but you and I both were on teams with Texas with running backs who could not see the hole, even no matter how big the hole was. Shit. I mean, we all have our moments, right? But who consistently couldn't see the hole. You know what I'm saying? And so it is a team sport, but there's a lot of nuance when it comes to being a running back. Finding the hole, getting to the next level, the second level, and then getting out in space. And the second level for a running back is just 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. Okay? So you are at 8.3 yards per carry. 8.3 yards per carry, which means not only did you find the hole, not only did you get to the second level, but now at 8 yards, you're into the third level too. Ain't nobody helping you in the second or third level. You're on your own. The offensive line is behind you. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, we still not by ourselves. I still got people with me. Don't forget my lead blocks downfield. Don't forget them. My receivers on the
outside. Yeah, they're on the outside. You in the box.
And I don't like being there, so I'm trying to find my way out. There's a couple times I might have bounced in and been like, "That was a mistake. Let me get back out."
Right, yeah, but what I'm saying to you is, even if they're blocking one person, you got 6 pursuing you.
True.
You know what I'm saying? True. Like you're the one finding your way through those holes, finding the right hole first, getting to the first, second, and third level of the football field, and making the right read for 8.3 yards a carry. Bro, at some point you got to look back and think, actually, no, like I am actually a very talented running back with great vision and great agility and great speed and also great power, because at some point you got to go through people too. It's like he says, it's you got to be a glutton for punishment, right?
You do. It's fun, I'd say. Like, one of the funniest things is actually hearing defense when they're like getting ready to tackle me. They talk a lot.
They're a very different breed, and you always know Absolutely. If somebody's going to play defense based on how they are in the initial conversation, right? If they're weird as shit in the initial conversation, you're like, no, you're a linebacker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are not an offensive player.
No.
We are introverted and very
nice.
Yeah, very sweet. Methodical. Very Defense be like, what's up? You know what I'm saying?
Like, enough with the pre-workout, man.
Right. Yeah, they're different. They're strange. But for real though, I'm saying that to say that it is okay to look back at your season and look back at the growth and appreciate it for what it is. It is a team game, but you are a part of that team. And if you hadn't done what you did, with quarterbacks throwing 30 yards a game, there's no way in hell. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You got
no way in hell.
Okay.
Yeah. So. All right, y'all, that is part one of Kesz Wesley's story on her journey from backup to top rusher for the 2025 women's pro football season. Join me next Thursday for part two, in which Kesz replays and relives the injury that paralyzed her on the field in the 2025 WNFC Western Conference playoffs. Here's a preview of what you're going to get from that. Tune in next Thursday. Peace.
But that injury, it shocked me. Like, I don't think, obviously, nothing can prepare you for that. Like not being able to feel parts of yourself.
Yeah, we in this here, we never leaving, we killing this here, eating this here, leaving no crumbs, give you something to feel, and bothered is real, more than a move, it's the weight in the will, built for the climb, the story's the grind, this ain't just a pot, it's a whole state of mind, limitless life.